Hey there, lady. My name is Molly Conley, and I'm devoted to helping women reinvent their love lives. Whether that's after divorce, dating on and off the apps, or in their committed relationship. Why? Because I've been there. I'm a former college athlete who filed for divorce 3 years into marriage, swam in the online dating pool into my late 30s, and now I'm married to the man of my spreadsheet dreams who I met 4 months before the world shut down. As a dating and relationship coach, I help my clients build a foundation filled with clarity, connection, and confidence, knowing Mr. Right is worth waiting for. Each week on the podcast, I'll bring you love life insights and savvy guests where you will receive the courage to release programmed limiting beliefs, discover patterns and behaviors restricting you from finding and attracting quality men, and ways to choose yourself first so you can build a foundation for a healthy relationship with yourself and a partner. Hey there, lady. Welcome back to the podcast. And if this is your first time joining, I am so glad you're here. Before we get started today, I wanted to ask you, have you been listening to the podcast, or have you been listening and integrating what you've learned into your life? A lot of the times we experience something or try to learn something, it doesn't seem to get implemented. And trust me, I do this too. There's so many things we want out of life, and sometimes we have to work on one thing before we can start another. And sometimes things are out of our control, which pushes some of our goals to the side, and it can, become a big old mess. Like for one of mine, my example would be that I really want to create content for Instagram. I have so many ideas, but I never get them done, and never actually get any of them shared. Or I think I have an idea, and when it comes to sitting down to execute, it completely evaporates out of my existence. So hopefully you can take a few minutes or moments for yourself and jot down what you learned, or even save this episode so you can return to it and take whatever notes you need for the future. Because today I'm talking about the law of attraction. I've heard this from previous clients, and actually a recent client was more direct, and she said that she wanted to work on the law of attraction so she could attract the man that she wanted into her life. I thought that, this was a perfect topic to share on the podcast with my beliefs and opinions about it. Of course, I'm going to include some research because it's part of the reason why I find it so interesting. So let's start off with the definition of law of attraction. I decided to find a few on Google and then pick the ones that actually could give the most information, encompass as much of it as possible. In an article from Very Well Mind, they state the law of attraction is a philosophy suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative bring negative outcomes. So in other words, a positive mindset will attract more success and happiness than a negative one. And this law applies to all areas of life, including health, finances, and relationships. In a Forbes article, it states that the basic philosophy behind law of attraction is that energy precedes manifestation. As such, positive thoughts may bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring the opposite. Thereby, the law of attraction states that everything in our external world, like our bodies, our relationships, our robustness in our careers, and our finances, is a direct reflection of our internal state. Then, Better Up states that the law of attraction argues that positive thoughts and actions reap positive rewards and vice versa for negative ones. So, even though this philosophy has a lot of backing, it can be harmful, especially when used in relationships, including your relationship to yourself. By now, you've heard about toxic positivity. Personally, from my experience and with clients, a lot of people try to reframe a negative situation into a positive one, and that leads to toxic positivity. You'll notice a lot of coaches, even mindset coaches, that swear by using a reframe to solve your problems, to fix your mindset. Here's the deal. You can trick your mind, but your body knows. Your body knows when you're lying to yourself. Manipulating yourself into believing something in a positive way only reinforces that you're accepting and justifying the issue at hand. So I'm going to use myself as an example. When I found out my ex-husband was cheating on me with numerous women, I would reframe it in multiple ways, but eventually it would come down to everything happens for a reason, to cover up my emotions and like bypass what I was really feeling at the time. Sometimes a reframe can help us in the moment, but when you repeat it over and over and over again, you become emotionally numb. Using positive thoughts to try to turn your mindset around, especially with reframes that lead you to toxic positivity, like my example, do more damage than good. Because you aren't attracting anything positive with bullshit, positive thoughts from a reframe. Not only are you suppressing your emotions, but you are suppressing your authentic self. So, authenticity is key to attracting the right type of people into your life. Authenticity is a must when building relationships and your intuition. If you're trying to live by the law of attraction and receiving what you don't want, more than likely you're not being yourself in those areas of your life. So, instead of focusing on the law of attraction, let's make a shift and focus on the law of vibration. Trust me, this is not the same thing. So just like I did before, let's give, a few definitions before I dig in. An article on Mind Body Green states the law of vibration is that everything, an atom, object, a living thing, is in constant motion, vibrating at a very specific frequency. Someone's energy or the energy of a physical space or a group isn't something you can see or touch, but is something you can sense, feel, and react to. An article on Proctor Gallagher says everything in the universe is in a constant state of movement. We refer to these movements as vibration, and the speed or rate at which something vibrates is called a frequency. The only difference between one object and another is the rate of its vibration. So, I want you to think back to a time where you walked into the room and instantly felt like something was wrong. People were emitting a frequency that you could notice. Technically, everyone can notice these vibrations, but those who are more of an empath will notice them more often. The law of vibration does have more scientific data behind it because, as we've mentioned earlier, everything is made of energy, including thoughts and emotions. The certified coaching program I went through was very aligned with this concept, and we learned about different energy levels specifically tailored to the coaching program. The more that I've experienced these energy levels within myself and even in Brad's and my relationship, the more I've developed an interest and understanding as to how to shift into the law of vibration instead of the law of attraction. But before we get there, I briefly want to share that you are made of electromagnetic fields, and it's called a human biofield. So listen to this. The human body produces an electromagnetic field, and they are also known as the human biofield, which carry information about a person's psychological health. The body cells are made up of atoms, and each atom has its own electric field. So when two atoms are close together, they can interfere with each other's electric fields, which can then lead to atomic bonding. These fields hold atoms together and allow the body to communicate with itself. For example, the electric field in your fingers allows you to type. Isn't that insane? So you, me, your neighbor, your boss consist of electromagnetic fields. And guess what? Electromagnetic field was considered to be your superpower by Psychology Today. It's your heart. The article states, with an electrical component about 60 times greater and electromagnetic energy field 5,000 times greater than the brain's, the heart has a significant influence on the body down to the cellular level. The heart's energy is said to reach about 3 feet. I'm going to repeat that again. 3 feet outside of your physical body and can be detected in another person sitting nearby via electrocardiograms. They're also called ECGs. So think about that one. Can you bring to mind someone, even without speaking a word, makes you feel light just by being in their presence? Have you ever been told you have such a positive energy about you? The potential of how far our heart's electromagnetic energy field can reach continues to be studied as technology plays to catch up. Honestly, when I'm feeling all over the place, I can ground myself by hugging Brad. You know, even just like less than 2 minutes. He rebalances me through a hug, through his presence. Our hearts can communicate through energy, which is why the law of vibration is, in my opinion, more important than the law of attraction in your relationship, in your love life, and when working on yourself. Okay, so now that we've got all of that science in here, I want to go a little further. So there's this diagram, and I'm going to have a link in the show notes for it. It's called the Emotional Vibration Analysis Frequency Chart. So this chart is extremely similar to what I was taught in my coaching program. A lot of people say, and you might have seen this in quotes or things on TikTok, Instagram, that love is the highest frequency, but it's not. There's joy, there's peace, and then there's enlightenment. Because of how energy works, you can't actually stay in one frequency, like one vibration. You actually move through different frequencies as your emotions change day to day. Like I said, I'm going to include a link in the show notes so you can look at this whenever it works best for you. Our emotions alter the frequency we are vibrating. And when you look at the chart, you will see the lowest frequency starts with shame, and then it's guilt. Slightly up the chart is grief, fear, and then surprisingly enough, desire. Personally, I thought desire would be a lot higher, so I might have to dig into that one a little bit. But the next few emotions on the chart change drastically, from anger to pride and courage, all before reaching the emotion of neutrality. So I'm mentioning this here because there's a toxic positivity reframe that a lot of people say for neutrality, and that would be, it is what it is. So keep this in mind if you have been finding yourself saying it, or you're around others that do as well. So once you move past neutrality, we get into the vibrational frequencies that we want the most, but are the ones where programming from those lower frequencies start to appear and be challenged. Those are willingness, acceptance, reasoning, then love, joy, and peace, all before enlightenment. Now, think back when I brought up authenticity. Where do you think that would reside on the chart? Is it around neutrality? Is it closer to peace? It is actually 400 times higher than love, which puts it in the enlightenment area of the chart. 400 times. I really want to drive this home for you. The more you allow yourself to just be you, the higher your frequency, the higher the vibration, and the more you can experience these higher level emotions on a regular basis. Just think of how being yourself would allow you to show up on a first date, in a relationship. You'd be grounded, aware, and capable of handling the emotional flow between the frequencies. You would have boundaries with yourself, knowing that change is inevitable, so you stay open with curiosity. You'd accept yourself for who you are and have the capacity to shift who you are because you know you are always evolving. You'd belong and connect yourself where you do not feel like you have to apologize for who you are and say things like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. You'd be able to have these conversations in a way that is true for you and still empathetic to those around you. Showing up as your authentic and full self attracts what is meant for you. And since you know about the electromagnetic field in your body and specifically in your heart, you know your authenticity will have an effect with those around you. But to figure out what is meant for you, you have to start peeling back the layers of you. to get to your core authentic self. So we do this by challenging your programming, reflecting on relationships, and holding yourself accountable to new choices. All of it helps increase your vibration, leading you closer to authenticity, enabling you to attract who is meant for you with their authentic vibration. A man who is and continues to, do the work. Because life is truly a mirror. Whatever you are currently attracting, it is trying to teach you something. What are you attracting that you need to learn in order to attract what you really want? So if you keep attracting men who aren't doing the work, what work are they not doing that you can do for yourself so you can start to shift your own frequency? When I work with clients, we really dig into this, usually during the 6 months of connection coaching. And we use it to edit their spreadsheet as they uncover and challenge their programming. By doing so, she can start to practice and test out what's working, what still needs tweaking. Now, I've decided to bring some of this into my Man of Your Spreadsheet Dreams course that begins on Wednesday, May 15th. Each week, I'm going to teach you part of my process, strategy, and methodology of the Man of Your Spreadsheet Dreams. You will have homework each week, to do the work on your own so you can implement it before we do the next step. You will also learn how manifestation is incorporated with this spreadsheet so you can do it too. And maybe, just maybe, it has to deal with a little bit of authenticity. We will also have live coaching opportunities, Q&A sessions, and I will be around Monday through Friday to answer your questions as they come up. Plus, all sessions are going to be recorded so you can return to them as needed. So, lady, if you are someone who wants help uncovering these patterns, behaviors, someone who wants real clarity on who she is and who she wants to be with long term, someone who wants to implement my process, strategy, and methodology of how I met my unicorn of a husband, someone who wants help with execution, practice, and accountability in their dating life, then get on the waiting list. Like I said, we start on Wednesday, May 15th. Okay, lady, I hope that today's episode really encompassed the difference between law of attraction and the law of vibration, and how really law of vibration is the way to go in order to authentically attract things into your life, specifically the Man of Your Spreadsheet Dreams. I can't wait to hear how this episode either impacted you or what your thoughts are. So as always, like I've mentioned before, please message me on Instagram to let me know or leave a rating and review. I'm going to be doing something wonderful over the next few months. And if for those that leave a written review, I'll be pulling them out and you can win something that I cannot yet announce. So go ahead and do that if you want to be in the drawing for something later on this summer. All right, lady, have a good rest of your day, and I will chat with you next week.